I'm now going to dive into the process of procure to pay or our sourcing capabilities. So scrolling down, I'm now playing the role in my purchasing department, and so I'm going into my purchasing overview. The first thing I want to cover is the product master data. This is the anatomy on how different levers are pulled and triggered throughout your system. Going into our product master data, I have an example of a product here where I'll execute and view this product. There's a lot of information that you can capture on the product master data, but a couple key areas that I want to call out is the ability to have different settings for your product by different location. So I have different settings for this specific product, and if I drill into one of these locations, you can see even more detail that you can add. Specifically, when it comes to sourcing and procurement, your MRP data. This is where you can set your different algorithms, how you want the system to plan your data, your forecasting types. Is this a type of product that we purchase from a supplier, or is this something that we have to produce in-house, etc.? So this is where we're capturing all that information, and it is a lot of information to digest. With the embedded uh, artificial intelligence within the platform, at any point you can summarize this information and tell SAP, hey, I'd like to see the summarization for this viewpoint of this product, and it's going to provide that and capture it for me nice, quickly, easy to consume. So that's a little bit about the product master data. Now let's talk about how we plan our data. So I'm now changing roles. I'm a supply planner and I dive into my MRP functionality. Here I have an example of a product that we produce, and these are the raw materials that we purchase that roll up into this end product. At a quick glance, it's understanding my first shortage, and I can see my stock availability. At any point, I can click on a specific material, and here I can see the information that it's capturing based off of that product master data we just viewed. I also have related actions where here I can see the material coverage. I can check the material from a stock perspective, etc. Again, always having quick actions at your fingertips. If I go back into my MRP here, let's now look at the full heart of the MRP settings here. So if I go into manage material as a supply planner, this is my full view of my supply and demand in my supply chain. You can see that it's capturing not only demand from a customer perspective on how to execute, but I also can add historical demand and it's capturing those as independent requirements. From there, the system recommends, hey, you have some production that needs to take place, and so it's capturing that planned order that then I can convert into a production order when my production team is ready to execute. I see my full supply and demand here on the right-hand side. And at any point that I see a red flag, I can select it and see how it's going to impact my supply and demand and run simulations. So very powerful, robust functionality. If I go into the components that I need to purchase, you can see it captures that supply simulation as well, but it also is making purchase requisitions or recommendations of when I need to buy based off of my overall movements within the supply and demand. So you always know what's taking place based off your demand and your historical demand. The system does the work for you and allows you to react and have optimal supply at all times. So that's a little bit about our supply planning perspective. Let's say we take one of these purchase requisitions, we'll convert it to a purchase order, and then we'll bring that product into inventory. So automatically through automation, I have my purchase order that was created. If I were to drill into this purchase order example, I can see the information that has taken place, such as the supplier information, my item information, and there's certainly more detail on the item information if I drill into that. The system captures numerous data on all the item information, and I can see with the plant area and where it's going to be stored when we bring that into inventory. So now let's say through automation that purchase order was created, the supplier shipped the product to us, and we received notification that it is on our dock and we received that product in the inventory. And so now it's time for our warehouse team to execute that task. And so this SAP Cloud ERP platform is a fully has fully embedded warehouse management solution that is task based, and it is very strong. You can set up your replenishments, you can set up your slotting algorithms, etc. But let's take a look at that. So I'm a warehouse supervisor switching roles, and I go into my change inbound deliveries. That product was receipted, and we received that notification. And so when I execute, I can see the product that we're bringing in the inventory from our supplier, and it has a warehouse task associated to it. When I select that warehouse task, this is the information as a supervisor view that is coming into place. We receipted it and have that product in our goods receiving area. I have it's located with a specific batch ID from our supplier, as well as from based off of the product master data and how we set up this item. It's telling me I need to put it in this specific bin for this quantity. Certainly, if you have, excuse me, end users that you want to perform different tasks and it populate on their handheld, you can assign a specific resource to execute that task. So this is the supervisor view. I'm now going to switch roles and go into if I was on the warehouse floor executing this task. So now I'm going to show you the embedded RF capabilities and barcode scanning capabilities. Again, browser based, so you can use this on a tablet, iPad, etc. And now my warehouse team can execute this task. So what he or she is going to do in the warehouse is select the process that they're going to execute. We're going to put this product away, and we're going to do it by a warehouse order. Anytime I copy and paste or scan information or enter information, consider that a barcode scan. I don't have my scanner on me at this time. So what the end user will do is scan the warehouse order, and it takes them into the next step. I'm going to confirm that this is the product that we're going to be putting away. It's currently in our goods receiving area. It's for a quantity of 220, and certainly you can over receive, under receive. How you set that up on the back end is up to you and your organization. And it's going to track that batch or lot number. If this was a serialized product, it would have that serial number capability again for that full audit trail. But once I enter the quantity here, it's now telling me to do that put away task. So we're at the site where we're going to put this product into the specific bin. I again scan the product ID, the barcode. I confirm I'm putting away the quantity, and now I'm going to scan the bin that I'm putting this product into inventory away. And that's the full execution. Certainly, that was a lot of steps and movements. I showed you the full end-to-end capability, but the more you learn it and how you want to set up your RF scanning, you can skip steps, etc. That's up to you and your organization. So again, this is a fully embedded warehouse management solution, and everything is real time. If I were to go back into this task here and reload my screen, you can see that it is confirmed and it captured the task that we put away. So that's a little bit about the procure to pay process. We talked about supply planning. We talked about how we would execute and bring product into inventory. With the warehouse management solution capabilities, you also want to have good discipline around your inventory management. So if I were to go into my warehouse supervisor view, there's a couple different applications that have great rich data that I can view on how my inventory is performing. The first is this overview of inventory management, where here I have a couple different KPIs and charts that I can view, such as dead stock analysis, my warehouse throughput history. If you're an organization that needs to track your stock in transit, again, these are interactive. So if I wanted to view my stock in transit, I click, I can see all the product that's in transit, what's overdue, where are the delays, what's the purchase order it's assigned to, etc., and dive into that quickly. Going back, another viewpoint that I like to show is this stock single materials. So this allows you to scan any product, and this gives you a viewpoint from an inventory management perspective that I can see that this product is a part of multiple locations. It's a batch product, so I can see where the batch is. But not only I can see how much I have in stock, I can see the status it's in. Excuse me. And so here I can see that I have unrestricted, but if it was in quality inspected, I could have that, etc. And I can also select and execute my managed stock. I can select my cross plan if I want to transfer this to a different location. It's as simple as saying I want to take it out of this location, put it in this location, and type in that quantity, and then post. So again, some great functionalities. I apologize for my cold that I have currently. And then certainly with it being a fully warehouse management solution, you want to know how your warehouse is performing. So this is a viewpoint that gives you the full health of everything that's involved in your warehouse, such as overdue, outbound delivery tasks, tasks that need to be picked, etc. So I have that full viewpoint of my warehouse. And then certainly this wouldn't be an audit system if it didn't track and trace everything. And so here we have our materials documents overview that tells me from all the movements that took place, what happened, the quantity, where it is stored, the value of it, and then the document movement. So I have that visibility. And certainly without a developer degree or anything, you have the ability to add extension fields, and we can configure this to your business where I can add more information to this report. Maybe I want to see that batch ID and I want to move it within the report upward. So I can just with the click of a button move that field over, click OK, and it updates the report for me. So I can again make and configure that data the way I like to view and see it. So that was a little bit about the procure to pay side with a little bit of inventory management. Let's go and take a look on from a supply chain perspective how we're going to issue that product out of inventory to our customers.